Hey guys, Anthony, 4x4 Diesel. Just wanted to do a really important video. This one's mainly for those people with the Autophix Bluetooth 3210 DTC reading clearing device with the dashboard here, and particularly with vehicles with a DPF. In this instance, it's a 1GD FTV engine. So we're just going to go through a few of these parameters. This vehicle has decided to do a DPF burn, so we're going to go through what some of the parameters we've got up on the screen here of the Autophix software and let you know what they normally are and what they are when it's doing a burn. Now, a couple of things you're going to notice, as I've mentioned in other videos already. How do you know when your Prado or Fortuna or Hilux is doing a DPF burn, the 1GD? Well, the first thing you're going to notice as you come to a stop, you're going to feel the vehicle trying to push forward. If it's an automatic, like you've got your foot on the accelerator still. What happens in neutral, you'll notice, see the revs, they're up on 900 revs. That's not the normal thing. If you were to put it in drive, it's almost like you're driving off at the lights without needing to press the accelerator. A couple other things you're going to notice, the fuel economy goes really bad. We're on 12.6 litres per 100 Ks. Engine's been running, what, 21 minutes. It's been doing a burn, I'm not sure how long, probably 10 minutes. So let's go through all these parameters here and tell you what they normally are. Now, so this is the, as I mentioned, Autophix 3210. If you need one of those, your best bet is to get in contact with Trevor Ryan on Facebook directly. Trevor Ryan, he is the importer, Autophix Australia. And he'll, if you say, hey, Anthony did a video and he recommended, I've also said everybody should have some sort of device to read and clear DTCs, but that's not about this. This is not about that, and that's not about this. This is about what are we looking at here on this, what we call the dashboard. We've got 6 parameters we can choose to put up on our dashboard. The ones I choose are, starting from the top left, engine coolant temperature, then the EGT on the right, then the map, the Maf, the load, and the EGR position or percentage. Okay, we'll just quickly go through and explain roughly what they are and what the difference is to normal and to when it's doing a burn. So starting with the top one, ECT, engine coolant temperature, and if we get time for the burn continues, we'll go through some other data and have a look what the differences are as well. And if not, we'll do it in the next video, which is why it's important to subscribe and turn that bell on so you don't miss that notification for the next important bit of information regarding your vehicle. Okay, engine coolant temperature. At idle on both 1KD FTV and 1GD FTV, normally idles on 83 degrees. Okay, as you can see, it's a pretty cool day here in Melbourne. That's where we are, in Melbourne, Australia, and outside it's 15 degrees at the moment. It's approximately 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, pretty cold day. I'm sure there's colder places, I know, and there's plenty of warmer places. That's what we want to know about. So I've noticed with the DPF burn, the coolant temperature is sitting on approximately 85 degrees most of the time, so it's up about 2 degrees, okay? Not a big deal, just letting you know it's another way to tell. The EGT, using this Bluetooth 3210 on the 1GD FTV, it's picked up there's 3 EGT sensors that it picks up, okay? I've chosen, as you can see, I think one's numbered 1, number 2, number 3. I've picked number 1, which comes up on this app as EGT11, but that's kind of the number 1. Normally at idle, on this vehicle, it would be down to around between 150 and 200 degrees, right? So about the 170 mark from memory. I haven't been super analysing it, but this is things I've noticed in the short period of time we've been using this app and the Autophix 3210. So it's added about 100 degrees to the EGTs, and it should. It's doing a burn. Now the map, manifold absolute pressure, that's your boost if you like, okay? So because the engine's up at 900 revs, the map reading, instead of being at idle, it's normally going to be mid-90s, you know, probably 96, 98, 90, it's somewhere in the 90s anyway. It's down to 74, okay? That would be a sign of it's doing a burn, but then perhaps the map reading's wrong, so I'll have to confirm that one in another video. So I don't think it's normally down on 74. Some software gives you the wrong map reading. I was of the understanding this was giving me the correct reading, so I'm pretty sure it's just because the revs are up. Let's just rev it up a little bit and see. I believe it's because it's up at the revs and doing the burn, okay? That's what I think it is. We'll confirm with another video showing you these parameters at normal, and we might even do that in this video, so sit tight. Moving on to the MAF. The MAF at idle on this vehicle is normally 5 grams, right? 5 GS, right? 5. We're up on 13. Why are we on 13, 12, 13? We've got about twice as much air running through the mass airflow sensor. All right, and there's a couple of reasons for that. We've got a little bit higher engine revs, but the other thing we've got as well is, if you look below, we'll get to it actually, we'll come back to this. The load's normally on approximately, on this one, the load's on usually about 11, so the load's approximately double with this happening with the engine, and it's getting quite hot in here, I've got to say. I haven't adjusted the heater and it's warming up a lot, so I have to turn that down in a minute, or I'm going to need a bottle of water. See at the bottom there, EJAR, that's the EJAR position. Don't worry, I don't know, E, A, C, and D, whatever. I can't remember exactly what it stands for, but it's basically your EJAR position, or how much EJAR is flowing. And at the moment, 0 is flowing. So what we know from this is, when these do a DPF burn, it shuts off the EJAR for the duration by the looks of it, okay? And when you've EJARs shut, what that means is you've got less, the engine's running on less exhaust gases. It's shut, right? So basically what it's told us is there's 6, 7, whatever, or rather, % more. Sorry guys, I was interrupted by a phone call, you get that. But yeah, the EJAR's shut. So with the EJAR open, the MAF's on about 5. So it's kind of telling you that the vehicle's running on about 50% exhaust gases at idle, and it would normally go up to about 10 if you were to shut the EJAR valve, but it's up to around 13 because the revs are up from 700 to about 900, okay? So there's a few factors there, and that's why I said I'll come back to that. That's why the MAF's up, because the EJAR's shut and the revs are up. The loads are up for the same reasons as above. I'm not sure what else I can tell you. Pretty well covers those 6 readings. Let's go in. Let's just go out of here. Let me see if I can drive this thing. Dashboard, we want to go out of there. We want to go, I'm trying to see past the camera, diagnostic. It's going to do its thing. And then down the bottom here, we want to go data stream. Here we go. Let's see what we got. Okay, vehicle speed, engine RPM, I told you about 900 revs. You can see the load, you can see the coolant temp. You can see the intake manifold pressure, air temperature. It gets pretty warm by the time it gets into that sensor, doesn't it? See? Airflow, we already know that one. But it's more accurate, it's not 13, it's not rounded, it's got the 0.36, if you know what I mean. So it's refreshing more slowly, but it gives you a more accurate number. What else have we got? We'll go through, stop and see if there's anything. Engine start, there, it's telling you how many seconds it's been running for. The number of warm-ups since DTC is cleared, because if you remember, I did another video where I unplugged the mass airflow sensor at the airbox to show you how this unit worked and how to clear codes. That's what that's about. Okay, you're going to have some interesting readings on some sensors here while it's doing a burn, so you can take note of those if you like. Particulate filter bank 1 delta pressure. So let's monitor that and see what happens. Just for a minute. Actually, we'll get the exhaust gas temperature up in the picture as well. What's the top one? Yeah, don't worry about that one. I reckon, let's look at these, right? You've got bank 1. Remember, that's how I told you which reading I selected was bank 1, and then further down you see you've got bank 1 sensor 2. So it's 1 1 and 1 2, and that's how it'll come up on your readings, right? So I'm just going to give it a little rev and see what happens here. I'm going to turn the heat down, actually, I'm getting hot. So things are hot under the bonnet at the moment, right, around that DPF. I'm just going to give it a little rev up and see what the delta pressure does. Yeah, you can see it went up. We've got a bit of a slight delay. So we've got 3 EGTs here, and you can have a look what they all are. Quite handy information. Right, there's your 3 sensors. Sensor 1, sensor 2, sensor 3. As I said, mine comes up as 1-1 because I think I've picked sensor 1. And if you pick sensor 2, it probably comes up as 12 and comes up as 13. Something along those lines, right? So interesting to know. We'll give it a bit of a rev. Let's see what that does. It's still going to do the burn, but I'm just wondering if it's going to change. So it's going to go up and get even hotter. Not much, really. To get it hot, you need to put the engine under load. The best way to do a DPF burn is driving for that reason. The hotter the better. You're going to get a better burn. Let's just go through, see if there's any other readings there. Fuel rail pressure, there you go. You've got the A and B. One's what the ECU is asking for, and the other one is the actual. And this is one that's a little bit slow to refresh, so it's not ideal for diagnostic. If you want to have a tool to diagnose problems with fuel pressure, one of those other units like that Autophix 9000, from memory that was really quick to refresh on the fuel pressure. Not 100% sure, you'd have to refer to my other videos. See this, I think it refreshes about every 6 or 7 seconds, we worked out. But luckily, it's only those old ones with the short SCVs that have fuel pressure problems, and you don't need to check it, you just need to replace it, upgrade to the longer one. Okay, so commanded fuel pressure, that's what it's asking for. The ECU is saying, I want 35,000, and there's a couple of different sensors there telling us what it actually is, and it does fluctuate, so it's not an issue as long as it's within specification. So all your EJAR duty is going to be 0. That's what I said, your EJAR valve shut while the burn's happening. The vehicle's apparently in neutral, it's in park neutral, close enough, none of that matters really. The timing of all the injections is going to be different for the burn, but we may run through all these parameters, or we may have in other videos, so stay tuned and you'll be able to compare what's happening. This obviously doesn't give you the percentage, how long it's got to go, and that's why I'm saying it would be handy if Autophix got the data on the 3210 for the DPF percentage, so we know when the burn was about to finish. So a couple of minutes to go, we'll just wait. It's a countdown, a percentage. It counts up to 100 and then it counts back down again. Okay, let's just go through anything else there. Sorry guys, just got interrupted by another phone call. You get that? Everybody wants to ring on their lunch break. Okay, so that was the idea of the video. There's going to be 3 little bits joined together. I'll just show you again. We're still, you can see the engine RPM. The burn's still going. With this software, we've got no idea of how far it's got to go. So we're not going to sit here and basically, you know, wait for it to finish, because that would be just a waste of fuel. I just want to show you the fuel economy too, actually, while we're sitting here. Look, it's always going to be bad when you're not driving, but we're going to switch it off and we'll restart the vehicle and continue the burn on the next drive, I guess. And I might try and capture some data, because it may take a second before it starts doing the burn. It may need to warm up a little bit. Let's see, eh? Sit tight, we'll see what happens. This could be the end of the video, or there might be more to come. Okay, so just for the argument's sake, I've restarted the vehicle. It's probably half an hour later. It's not doing a burn yet, but it will continue the burn, and I'll be driving, and I probably won't be able to show you that, but I'll just show you the parameters. Now remember, as I said, it's been sitting about half an hour, so the coolant's down to 62. So this isn't really going to work that well after all, because the coolant temperature is down, so it changes all the other parameters as well. So what I'd like to point out is though, on a cold engine, I'll try and show you again. I'll join another little bit more video, but let's make a point that with a cold engine that's just started, the EGT's idling is 78 degrees, okay? The map reading is 97 as suspected, right? Remember, I was a bit, you know, I was second guessing myself, and the reason I'm careful is sometimes vehicles basically, some software, some of these scan tools, they give you wrong readings. You got to be really careful. There's a lot of wrong readings on scan gauges and stuff as well included, so just be careful. With the 3210, I can tell you this map reading, it is very accurate at 97, 96, where I was a bit unsure about that before. I'm inexperienced with this. As I said, the MAF reading down on 5. You can see the EGR position, bottom right, 83%. And the load's down to 12. That'll go a little bit lower once it's fully warmed up. So I'm going to drive. I'm going to do another video after driving and show you these parameters at full operating temp, and I'll let you know whether the burn came back or whether it was satisfied. Okay guys, so we've just completed another drive, and this is the deal. A couple of things we've learned from taking a bit more notice is the Egt temperature. You can watch it dropping, but it depends. If you've just started the engine, even though the engine's running, the exhaust is warm and getting warm, and even if you haven't driven it for half an hour, it does sit a lot cooler than normal, right? So straight after a drive, it may sit up over 200 for quite a while. You can see it sort of dropping there, and that's where I had my figure of between 150 200, and you can see it's still dropping, just sitting here idling. We've just done have a look over here, we've done a 38-minute drive. The economy pretty average because it did a burn. So what did happen is it did resume the burn not long after we left our previous destination. Funnily enough, we're on the motorway and it wasn't doing a burn, and then as we came off the motorway and into the suburbs and stuff, the burn started, and then after we switched it off, obviously we're in the suburbs, slow driving, the burn started, and then once we hit the motorway again where it'd be a good place to do a burn, the burn had finished. So that's what I mean, we need a button to tell the DPF when is the best time. Now what I wanted to do is just show you, so there's those readings. See the ECT 84, the coolant temperature, it varies a little bit. So I have noticed at the moment it's on 84, 83, there you go. And I did notice when I stopped, I pulled over and took some shots of when it was doing a burn, which I'm going to show you those, or give you a look at those in a moment. And basically, so you can see the EG temperature is coming down 170. The map reading, as I said, that's what around about what it is when everything's normal at idle in neutral. The MAF reading on 5, the load's on sort of 10 or 11, and you can see the EGR's maxed out, okay? So that is your typical standard readings, what you're going to see after a drive on a 1GD. 1GD, yep, 1GD, 1JD. I'm trying to say G. Now I'm just going to find some photos. Just give me a sec, have a look there, and I'm just going to show you these. Okay, so these are some screenshots I took while it was doing a burn, just so you can compare. I think this one was in neutral, okay, so you can see the EGTs while it's doing the burn still up there. The map was down low, and notice the EGR's on 0. So this is a way you can tell when you're driving, if you can't feel it and you haven't got anything on the display and you want to know if it's doing a burn. If you come to a stop and you see the load on 21 in neutral, or 0 on the EGR, or even if you're driving, when you back off, the EGR might come off 0, but it's a really low number. I'll show you the difference. So then putting it in drive, this is putting it in drive, so not much difference in most things, but notice the map is the one that goes up when you put it in drive, okay? The MAF went up a little bit as well, more airflow, and of course the load, see the load went up as well. So this is neutral, right? This is in drive. Notice EGR all 0. Then once, not long after the burn had finished, kind of straight afterwards, and it makes me wrong because see the ECT up there is 85, but look, just happened to be that way. You can see the EGTs are up here. It just finished the burn, okay? But you can see the maps come back to normal, the MAFs come back to normal, the load's back to normal, and the EGR's where it normally is, around about the 90%. Now that's in neutral. Popping it into drive, this is the difference. Of course the EGR drops a little bit because there's a little bit less flow. The load goes up, the MAF stays about the same, and the map changes just a little bit, and the EGTs and stuff are about the same as well. Anyway guys, hope that helps. There's some information, I suppose, on a little bit more of the functions, what you can do with this Autophix 3210. I like it. I would like to see the DPF percentage and the transmission temp, but unfortunately at this stage it doesn't support it, so we'll be pushing for an update. Let's hope that's something that happens, and a bit of information for you on DPF burns on the 1GD. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe. Don't forget to turn the bell on so you don't miss the next important notification. Give us a thumbs up if you got something out of that, and if you got any questions, hit me up in the comments and we'll make some more videos. Thanks for watching. See you guys.